Hey, Lucas.
Well, good morning, Todd. Thank you. And Carly, if you're a federal worker on the fence about taking that buyout, you have some more time to think it over. Now, tonight's midnight deadline for USAID workers does not appear to be changing as the workforce is being slashed by nearly 10,000 workers, leaving fewer than 300. Here's Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
We're not trying to be disruptive to people's personal lives. We're not being punitive here. But this is the only way we've been able to get cooperation from USAID. I had preferred not to do it this way. When we tried to do it from the top down by getting cooperation from the central office of USAID, what we found instead are people trying to use the system to sneak through payments and push through payments despite the stop order. The United States will be providing foreign aid, but it is going to be foreign aid that makes sense and is aligned with our national interest.
Now, unions are suing the Trump administration over the cuts. The American Foreign Service Association and American Federation of Government Employees says these actions have generated a global humanitarian crisis by abruptly halting the crucial work of USAID employees, grantees, and contractors. They have cost thousands of American jobs, and they have imperiled U.S. national security interests. Now, here's the post from the U.S. Office of Personnel Management about extending the buyout deadline in compliance with the court order. The deadline for federal employees to accept the deferred resignation program is being extended to Monday, February 10th, just before midnight. The program is not being blocked or canceled. The government will honor the deferred resignation offer. Now, many Republican lawmakers cite this list of what some are calling questionable spending with U.S. taxpayer dollars. Here's the scroll here. Perhaps we can turn it up a notch, get it going a little quicker. You see $1.9 million for Guatemalan transgender support, $15 million for condoms to the Taliban, $70,000 for DEI musical in Ireland, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru, $3.3 million for a Caribbean LGBT group, $55 million for strengthening Libyan financial management. Perhaps Billy Carter would have supported that one. The list goes on and on, guys. So I'm not sure how long we'll take this. Okay, $49 million to improving reading scores somewhere.
Won't he dare to rely? Faces on them wanted posters. The law's looking, they won't stop until the taste is over. It's all across the country, it's more than countywide. My mama keeps calling, she says my bounty's high. She sees me on the news, it comes as no surprise. She knows just what they'll do, can't see my mama cry.
They want me in a pine box with holes from 9 shots of time to die. It ain't mine, according to my watch, my spot stays full of critical individuals, convicts, and criminals. Nonsense from liberals and conservative church that want to see me in the dirt. They want me dead or alive, well, whatever works, cause I'm a cowboy.
Trigger fingers itching, I'm locked and loaded, hoping that they don't get no closer. This story's far from over. They call them Texas Rangers, tell them to bring the soldiers. I'm about to cross the border, 100 miles and running. I'm in the crosshairs, I know I'm being hunted. I might just double back because I'm that cunning, and I'm a bad boy. The senoritas love it. It's all about the chase, the guts and the glory. In case you hadn't heard, this is an outlaw story.
It's art. It's art. It's a movie is what that is. It's a movie. I will pay a ticket. What do tickets cost to a movie these days? I haven't gone to the movies in a minute. How much does a ticket cost to a movie? $20. Okay, but I will pay and I will buy the popcorn bucket for that. I will buy the popcorn bucket for that Western. I will freaking go watch it. Man, we are living in the greatest timeline. Good morning. It is Free for All Friday, and Democrats are burning down D.C. in their own insurrection. F around and find out. We got quite a show for you this morning, Friday, February 7th, 2025. Democrats are actively, right now, staging an insurrection. We have reporters on the ground at a Democrat insurrection in D.C. as 100,000 workers in the federal government decide to quit and resign, ladies and gentlemen. CNN has meltdown over Elon Musk DOGE staffer named Big Balls. We're going to cover that important story, ladies and gentlemen. Democrat DNC Kamala Harris insider joins the show exclusively today to tell you what actually happened on the 2024 campaign. You have been lied to. We have bombshell stuff we are going to break live on the program today, along with Congressman Aaron Bean, who is the head of the DOGE caucus that is wreaking abject havoc in Washington, D.C. It's an exciting time to be alive. Welcome to your front seat to the golden era. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Today we saw the revision of another economic catastrophe under the Joe Biden administration. The White House put out a briefing on this, actually, first thing in the morning. They revised down the numbers again. This happened every single time that Joe Biden's jobs numbers were put out. They revised them down. They cut them in half. So this is all fake. All the government data was fake. It was a bad economy, ladies and gentlemen, and you may have gone into debt during that bad economy. Many Americans are still having kitchen table problems right now. A lot of us are carrying high credit card debt. Make sure that you get out from underneath that debt. You don't want to enter the golden era with that hanging around you. I know that it was very expensive for this program and to build this company over the last couple of years. And ladies and gentlemen, we want you to get back on our feet, your feet as well. People right now are calling American Financing. American Financing's salary-based mortgage consultants can help you get out of debt. They're saving their average customers $800 a month. All it takes is a 10-minute no-cost obligation phone call today to find out how much you can save. Call American Financing today, 888-528-1219. That's 888-528-1219, AmericanFinancing.net/Benny, NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. I have something really exciting that I want to show you, ladies and gentlemen. Killer Klein, I'm just going to pop my screen on here. Something extremely exciting that the president just posted. I mean, literally, you'll see here, the president just posted it seconds ago. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is a photograph posted by President Trump's verified handle here with millions of followers. This is the official president of the United States. It's a photo of Tucker Carlson wearing a gigantic MAGA hat that is hugely oversized, a grinning President Trump looking spry, and Elon Musk wearing not only a gigantic MAGA hat, but a Doge Father shirt underneath the jacket there. Am I right on that, ALX? Make sure that you get me the full Doge Father, Godfather shirt there. Having what seems to be a absolutely great time, Tucker Carlson presumably doing an interview with Donald Trump and Elon Musk there at the White House. So expect that to drop. Can't say I'm just a tinge jealous of Tucker, but got to tell you, you got to respect your elders in this profession. This, ladies and gentlemen, just posted, literally posted as soon as we started the show. This has been up for just a couple of minutes at 11:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What a timeline that we live in. The single greatest timeline possibly ever. The sacred timeline. I want to set the table for the Democrat insurrection that is currently ongoing. We'll bring you live updates from it in Washington, D.C. Two quick things here. One, we've been in contact with someone who is now the prosecutor for the feds in Washington, D.C., and his office, his name's Ed Martin. We've known him for a while. He's been a friend of the show. Ed Martin, his office, has informed us that threatening federal employees, doxing federal employees, and storming federal buildings will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. So we are entering some very exciting times here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll play you all of the insurrection footage in just a moment. Elon Musk, who's walking around the White House in a giant foam MAGA hat and a Doge father shirt. Do we have that actually? Oh, okay. Can you show me what? Oh, they're both. Okay. Okay, so here's him. Here he is in the Oval Office, and here's the shirt that he's wearing, the Doge father. We are in the sacred timeline. This is what we told you the golden era would be like, but even our wildest dreams, we have quite the imagination around here. I mean, did you see the meme that played at the beginning of the show? It's cinematic. Not even we could have expected how exciting this moment will be. Has this been the best 3 weeks of your life? It certainly has been for me. I welcomed my fourth child, my second son, also in these 3 weeks. And so it's going to be very hard to top this, quite frankly, for the rest of my life. We're having so much fun. Elon Musk posted this thread this morning, and I thought it was instructive about this moment. Forget your political views and imagine politics as a game of football. Okay, it's the Super Bowl this weekend. The goal is to win over the public, taking positions that are popular with voters. Strategically speaking, one team is consistently on the unpopular side of every issue and having an all-time low approval rating. Yet they're not adjusting. They're doubling down on provably losing strategies, making it easier for the other team to rack up wins, rack up points. In my lifetime, I don't think the Democrat Party has ever been worse off than they are now. They need to fire the coach, the general manager, the owner, shake up the current roster, and trade the squad to Timbuktu. Ladies and gentlemen. Elon Musk not only posting that, which I completely agree with, and we're going to show you how the Democrats are legitimately doubling and tripling down on these stupidest possible things. But before we get there, Elon Musk posting at time of show, I love Donald Trump as much as any straight man can love another man. Can we do an overlay? Can we put this up on Instagram? Can we do an overlay of this photo plus that tweet? Yeah, thank you very much. All right, amazing. Ashley's got us. Final thing here, covering the breaking news. This is what we were planning on covering before the Democrats decided to insurrect. President Trump announcing this morning he's banning all paper straws. Do we need to get my chisel? Can I get a chisel? Killer Klein, can we get a chisel? Now, I have my gavel and I have my salt shaker here, but I need a chisel, which will be like, okay, that's fine. We'll get one for the studio, which is going to be like me going up and getting the face of Donald Trump carved into Mount Rushmore. They can't stop me. They won't stop me. Maybe you'll join me. I'm so excited about these things. I will personally do it myself. I'll save the taxpayers great expense by doing it myself. Here we go. President Trump announces executive order banning paper straws. Back to plastic, says Donald Trump. I'll be signing an executive order next week. Ending the ridiculous Biden push for paper straws, which don't work. Back to plastic. Yes. What do the paper straws do? The paper straws simply put paper residue in your drink. They fall to pieces. It literally becomes goop in the bottom of your drink. You can't drink your drink. And the entire cup's plastic, you idiots. Everything is so low information, so low brainwave that libs do. It is so low IQ. And Donald Trump, talking about low IQ, Maxine Waters. A reminder that Maxine Waters is somebody, because now let's move on to Democrat insurrection. There's a Democrat insurrection actively ongoing. We have lots of footage from it. It's happening right now. At the Department of Education, Democrats are trying to storm the Department of Education, harassing federal security, fighting with federal security. And a reminder of who the person leading this is Maxine Waters. She's like 87 years old. She's the most corrupt member of Congress. That's hard data. She's been named the most corrupt member of Congress by a nonprofit that has looked into her banking and backgrounds. She's like worse than Nancy Pelosi. Donald Trump said of Maxine Waters, she's a very low IQ person. And please pop this up. Thank you very much. Congressman Maxine Waters, extremely low IQ person, has become, together with Nancy Pelosi, the face of the Democrat Party. She just called for harm to my supporters, of which there are many. Make America great again. Be careful what you wish for, Max, says Donald Trump. in 2018. Here's the clip. We have this, the original Maxine Waters call for violence. Here's the clip. You might recall this. What I'm telling you here, ladies and gentlemen, is we're living in a flat circle timeline. She's back to her old ways. Here was Maxine Waters in 2018.
Let's stay the course. Let's make sure we show up wherever we have to show up. And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
So Maxine Waters, in what is a overt call to violence and a threat against her political enemies, which was followed through, by the way, during the BLM protests that were funded by USAID. Here's some footage of that. There you go. Did you know that USAID, we've been going off on the USAID, did you know that they funded BLM to do this to your city and my city? They certainly did this in my neighborhood. I lived in a very poor neighborhood of Washington, D.C. at this time during these riots. This was done with your federal tax dollars. This was the instruction of Maxine Waters being followed through on. You want to talk about true insurrection. Here it is happening in front of the Department of Education. So here we go. Here's the setup. Democrats right now are in front of the Department of Education. There's a bunch of members of Congress and very low IQ, very low functioning, but they're harassing this guy, the man in the brown shirt, tan shirt with the collar. This poor individual is blocking the access to Democrats who wish to storm the Department of Education in order to, I guess, take it over. There's a federal building. The federal building is privilege of the president. This is within the executive branch, falls under the executive branch. They're presumably storming the Department of Education because President Trump is planning an executive order to shut the building down. So what they want to do is they want to stage like a sit-in, I guess, to stop Trump from doing that. Like, what world do these people, where do they live exactly? Like it's like you're watching dinosaurs trying to like crawl out of the mud as the meteorite is like striking the earth. They don't live in the modern era. They don't understand how utterly powerless, how unpopular they are, how there won't be any media to protect them. Their layer of protection has been atomized. How there's nothing left between us, the American people, and seeing their overt corruption. And we are actually in favor, the vast majority of the American people are in favor of the government shutting down entire departments, like the Department of Education. You know who is also in favor of this? The teachers' unions. Randy Weingarten of the teachers' union has met with Trump, and she released a statement how she wants the Department of Education to be shut down. How education should go back to the states. It's an insane timeline that we're living in. But here are Democrats out front of the Department of Education trying to stage an insurrection right now. Maxine Waters harassing, threatening a federal employee. I look forward to the charges. We hear from little birdies inside of the district attorney's office in D.C. that laws may be broken here. Let's see.
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at him. Let them see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
Giving you the ID, I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. They didn't see it.
Okay. So what you're doing there is you're taking a federal employee who answers to Donald Trump and you're harassing him and doxing him on camera. Now, with longer footage of this, let's make sure that we load that up. I want to play the full clip here of what's been happening. Democrats ambush Department of Education But I absolutely see the rationale for charges to be brought against Maxine Waters here. And, of course, her banking scandals and money laundering and many of the other things that she's done that are totally completely criminal. Ladies and gentlemen, that clip alone should catch Maxine Waters a case. Okay, here we go. Here was the storming of the education department. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Okay, ready?
Do they know that we are here?
Max, ask the question again. That's important.
Were you told, are you making this decision to stand in front of this door on your own behalf, on behalf of the Department of Education, or were you told to come out here and block members of Congress from going to the desk?
I'm doing my job.
So everybody's free.
What is that?
We're doing our jobs.
We're trying to save you.
It's a non-responsive.
Show them your ID. Were you told to stand here, or did you decide to stand here and block members of Congress from entering the Department of Education?
To federal buildings.
We're allowed in there.
So a private security contractor
Do you know who members of
blocking
Congress are?
members of
We're all
Congress.
members of Congress.
Maybe he doesn't understand. Do you
A private
understand who
security
members of Congress are?
contractor is making the decision to block members of Congress from a public access entrance.
I don't think he knows.
You have the authority
what
as a
Congress
private
is or
security
what we do.
contractor to block members of Congress. That has been knighted and granted to you.
You have to at least let us go to the desk.
Yeah. Sending the goons out.
As many
Oh
decorations you
my,
want.
look at
Nothing's going
that.
to change.
Who told you to do this? Open the door.
I see you now.
So do you understand who members of Congress
I
are?
got it, yeah.
And you don't care. Who are we then?
I got the job to do.
You don't care. We have a job to do.
We're not dangerous people. We're not, I don't know, security. There are no thieves and thugs out here. We're members of Congress. We're parents. We're teachers.
Each of the
There's our ID, right there.
We were elected to do this.
This is our job.
This is our job. We're doing our job.
Oh wow.
You're securing this building against who?
Members of Congress.
Who is the Congress? Who are you
The people.
protecting in
Against
this?
members of the people's
So
house
this is the
represent the
beginning of
people.
full transparency of this administration. That's right. The administration that talked about they're going to open the doors to all of these things and show the American public what is going on. They won't
Transparency.
even open the door to this building to
Go to the
members of
visitor
Congress.
desk.
We are not posing any threat here. No, we are not dangerous people. We have not done anything. We're trying to request a meeting, and they have a private security contractor who on his own is making decisions on behalf of the Department of Education.
We are members of
Congressman
Congress.
Hayes,
At the
what you're saying is they're
all-access
not,
entrance.
they allow billionaires and his minions to come in
I don't
to
know
this
who
building.
he is. I don't know who he is, but I know who I
they
am.
allow-
And I'm a member of Congress with oversight responsibilities trying to request a meeting, and a private security contractor is not allowing me to enter the building.
They allow billionaires to go in this
at the
building, but not the
all-access
people's representatives. They
The
allow billionaires
all-access
and their cronies to go in, but not, there's a lack of transparency here. The members of Congress, the people's representatives are not allowed in. This is not transparent.
They're locking our kids out. Well, not only are they not letting us in, now they've called the Department of Homeland Security. We are members of Congress here to talk with the Department of Education, and they're treating us.
Kids deserve to have us
Yes,
go in and fight for
absolutely.
them.
This is appalling.
Children of this country deserve that battle.
This is a public institution. This is not Russia.
Let the camera see him. Let the camera see him. This man
Private
here.
contractor.
We are members of Congress.
Come in.
They're
and
blocking
I want you
us.
to see this man here, who is a federal employee. He told
No,
us.
he's not.
Are you a federal employee? Huh?
Yes.
No, he said he's a federal employee. We pay him. We raise money to make sure that we have a Department of Education. Everybody that's hired at the Department of Education are here because we pay for them to be here. He's standing here today, blocking the door, and he can't give us a good reason why he's blocking this door.
Make sure they see right here. all access entrance.
Well, and I think it should be clear to parents in the United States, if you want to advocate on behalf of your children, you are not allowed to come into this building where you pay taxes. Parents who have children who are disabled, access is being blocked. You voted for members of Congress to advocate on behalf of your children. Children with disabilities, for young women who have been victims of sexual assault in our classrooms, on our school grounds. Members of OCR are fighting for your children. We are not allowed in the building to talk to them. We are not allowed to advocate on behalf of America's children. America, we have a problem.
Now, everybody stand back.
All right, so this is the Department of Education. You've got members.
Like a live feed from the short bus, like the back of the short bus. Like that's what's going on. This is like Democrat members of Congress like trying to actually show us that they should be legally required to wear helmets to work. That they probably can't breathe air unaided. Have you ever seen a larger group of imbeciles? Like standing around like, let us into this building. Why? Cause your children. Whose children? What are you talking about? It's federal building. You don't have jurisdiction here. This poor man. Give this man right here. Give this man the Medal of Honor. I need an immediate petition to give this individual the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Look what they did the meme again. Look at this poor man. They did the meme again. They called DHS agents on him. They actually called federal security on these members of Congress. I'm texting right now with lawyers who have been appointed by President Trump inside of the D.C. District Attorney's Office. And they're saying that they are currently reviewing laws that may have been broken with the harassment of that poor federal employee. Right there. Find that man. I want to buy that man dinner. I'm going to get that man a nice steak and a bourbon. That poor man. Here's another meme. These are the memes that are popping up all over. Is the big brain versus small brain. These are other members of Congress. I could watch this all day. Look at this. They did the meme again. Look at this poor individual. Somebody find me who that guy, I don't want to dox him like Democrats did. I want to buy him a steak tonight. That poor man. Standing there for all of us, obviously, doing the cat meme. Ashley, where is the cat meme? I want the full cat meme, because we've been documenting all of this. In the meltdowns, the full series of meltdowns. This has been happening on every front. Of course, this is something that is very popular with the American people. Washington Post running with this headline this morning. I mean, obviously, this is because hundreds of thousands of federal employees were sent resignation letters by the Trump administration, and hundreds of thousands of federal employees are planning on taking those resignation letters. You don't understand, do you? Let's read the headline from the Washington Post this morning. Trump 2.0. Read this with me. And let me know in the comment section, let me know in the chat, if you agree with this. The Washington Post is writing this as a screeching screed to try and shock you. They don't understand. You're making our day. Trump 2.0. The most damaging 2 weeks in presidential history. Trump's second term is all about curtailing the government's power and reach. Yes! This is what... Show him, Klein. This is what we voted for. This is it. This is your country. You live inside of a red kingdom. You live inside of a country that voted for this. 70 to 80% of the country agrees with you. They want this to happen. They're cheering from the rafters. Democrats are living on a different planet. They're the dinosaurs that don't understand the meteorite's already hit and they're done. They're finished. You've seen it in every single congressional hearing. No. Ashley, I just need the one that we made, the last version of it. Please. Get me the last version of it. We've seen it in every hearing. There we go. Thank you. Look at this. This is the face of the dinosaurs not realizing they're going extinct. And there's like 20 other examples. Here's a new one. There's one with cash I like. They don't understand. This was particularly special with Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. You know, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, they've always lived under this protection mechanism of the media will keep the grift up. You'll be able to lie to the American people that you're some type of champion for populism and anti-corruption. And in real time, during these RFK nomination hearings and Kash Patel nomination hearings that we all were live for and watching together, we were able to expose their big pharma dollars. We were able to expose the amount of money these people were taking from USAID, the amount of money they were taking from healthcare corporations, vaccine companies, and now they're all being destroyed. It's an incredible timeline. Hegseth is a great one. This is, let's get the Hegseth. Poor Hegseth. It really is the battle of civilization. The alpha chads who stare versus the unhappy, hysterical, over-medicated cat women who don't understand that their days are over. Your days of power are over. No one's scared of you, Maxine Waters. In fact, Maxine Waters may catch a case for what she's doing right now. That is really scary. This is an unedited photo, not AI. My producer's saying, not AI. Incredible. So Democrats are angry. Oh, wow, we've got it updated. Okay. So our promise to you is that we will keep this updated. It may be hundreds by the time we're done. The cat lady versus the alpha chad who stares. Goodness gracious. The purge is happening, ladies and gentlemen. Soon we will be joined not only by DNC insiders, but also the head of the DOGE caucus inside of Congress, who are helping make all of this possible. Reporting last night that tens of thousands of feds are taking their buyouts. They're saying, we're done. We want nothing. We're finished. We don't want any more of this. We know we're going to get fired. The smart money is on take the buyout now instead of getting fired. Let's go.
The DOGE father's on the loose and no federal job is safe. Their plan for the deep state, gut it all. Over 40,000 federal bureaucrats have already taken buyouts, and we're only in week 3.
We expect that number to increase, and that alone, just the 40,000, again, we expect it to increase. It's going to save the American people tens of millions of dollars, and we encourage federal workers in this city to accept the very generous offer. If they don't want to show up to the office, if they want to rip the American people off, then they're welcome to take this buyout, and we'll find highly competent individuals who want to fill these roles.
Elon and his nerd army have been combing through agencies blasting away bloat. 20-year-old Dozers are clashing with lazy old-timers who don't know how to use a computer and are calling them idiots. And breaking news, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has just fired 90% of the administrators at USAID. They took a 10,000-man agency and streamlined it to 300 employees.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an exciting time to be alive. Look at this. USAID is driving the radical left crazy. There's nothing that they can do about it because the way in which the money has been spent, so much of it fraudulently, is totally unexplainable. The corruption at levels rarely seen before. Close it down. We've taken away their capacity to organize. They were using taxpayer funds to organize against you. They were using taxpayer funds to prop up media to attack me and you and members of Congress. This was the kiddie bank. Shutting this down. This was the skeleton key to open up the treasure box with the golden goose. It was total and complete patronage of those who servile bootlickers of the left, using your taxpayer dollars to do it, leveraging your children's future through compounding debt to pay off their friends. And it all got ended. You can always tell where your enemy's true treasure is. Burn their house down. If you burn their house down and you can see they're able to run in and grab one item, right? You can always tell right? And what Elon's doing is he's setting the federal House on fire right now. And Democrats are screaming, sprinting over to USAID because it was the piggy bank. It was the kitty that was funding all of the BLM riots, funding all of their media. And think about how unfair this is for, again, I'm not a victim. I'll never claim to be a victim. But like, we built our media business the honest way, and thank you, heart out to the chat. We thank you. We built our media business the honest way. The competitors, the people we compete against, we're getting tens of millions of dollars from me. They were holding a gun to my head with taxes, metaphorically, making me pay my competitors to write hit pieces on me and on this channel and about this audience, and to try and grow and artificially inflate their readership and their power using my money. I should sue. I should get together. I have a subscription service, right? You can join the Benny Brigade. Why hasn't the federal government bought $90 million worth of Benny Brigade memberships? It's a very interesting question. Tim Pool's got a membership. Why are they only buying Politico memberships? Why are they only paying the New York Times? Why hasn't the federal government spent $30 million on Tim Pool memberships? Anyone? Nothing? Huh? Tucker Carlson's got memberships. You got Tucker Carlson Network. Well, like, where's the feds spending $80 billion on Tucker Carlson memberships? Like, couldn't you use the exact same rationale? What do you think would happen if that occurred? These jackals, they steal our dollars and then fund the same people that try and take us offline, the censorship complex, to try and reduce our speech, destroy our show, write hit pieces on us, and they do it with our own tax dollars. I couldn't be angrier, honestly. I couldn't be more enraged about this. And I'm so happy we cheer on the destruction of this sick system, and we really hope that these insurrecting Democrats from this morning, ALX, let me know in the chat if there's any other clips. I know there was a ton all over my social feed. Grab anything else from the insurrection that is currently ongoing. They've been doing this all week. Just a quick salting of Democrats enraged over what we are doing right now. You can always burn their house, burn your enemy's house down, and see where they run to. See what they run in to save. That will show you where their treasure is. Here it is.
Bill Clinton fired almost 400,000 federal workers. That wasn't a constitutional crisis. The government had to slim down. Bill and Newt cut the fat, balanced the budget. And Democrats are acting like we're witnessing a genocide.
Let me remind you who set the House on fire. It was y'all. It feels as if y'all have just decided that y'all are going to castrate your constitutional duty and hand it over to someone who is unelected.
Fire Elon Musk. Elon Musk took control of our country's financial nuclear codes.
House Republicans have allowed billionaire Elon Musk and his gang of thieves to enter the U.S. Treasury Department, fire the people entrusted with secret private information about Americans, and give them that access.
Elon Musk is destroying our federal government. He feels he bought himself a president.
Now we've got Donald Trump and his co-president Elon Musk, and they're just running a wrecking ball through it.
It's like watching it's like watching the dinosaurs howl at the meteorite, barreling towards them. It's amazing. You know, they're going to impeach Trump again. They've promised to do it. This is how angry they are. We said it in the headline. They're going to impeach Trump again. Here we go. Al Green, acting and looking exactly like a Batman villain, talking about Batman villain, though, from the 1960s Batman, on the floor of the House, talking about Trump's dastardly deeds.
I rise to announce that the movement to impeach the president has begun. I rise to announce that I will bring articles of impeachment against the president for dastardly deeds proposed and dastardly deeds done. I also rise to say that the impeachment movement is going to be a grass-up movement, not a top-down. The people have got to move forward. The people have to demand it. And when the people demand it, it will be done.
Hey, we're gonna get the Cape Crusader for his dastardly deeds. Oh, we're gonna get him this time. Man's name is Al Green, looking a lot like the Geico caveman, and with his little cane, waving his cane around. Okay. Oh man, what did we do to deserve this kind of competition? Again, if you look at it like a sports game, if you're interested in watching the Super Bowl, I'm not sure if you are, but if you look at it as a sports game, one team has decided to triple down on the losing playbook that has lost them games over the last 10 years, have consistently lost them, the American public, and has turned your country into a red kingdom. Now, we do something exciting on the show where we give, it's like our own philanthropy, okay? It's what we do. We're Christians. We want to give, okay, to those in need. There are crying libs that need salt. They cry so much, their tears contain enormous amounts of sodium, and they need extra salt, okay, for their tears. That's why we have a gigantic salt shaker that was 3D printed by one of our brigade members in the studio. That's why we do the Salt That Lib of the day. Please join me in the comment section by adding salt emojis for these libs. We have multiple sequences of feds literally crying, giant crocodile tears over us simply destroying government waste. It's amazing. Here's our Salt That Lib of the day.
What is the general feeling across government amongst your fellow federal workers right now?
Grief. They're angry, many that are confused, but all kind of grieving in their own way.
How does it feel to be targeted for the work that you're so passionate about? It's okay, you could take your time.
It actually makes me prouder of the people that I've worked with and the things that we've done.
From fury to fear. Will my position remain? A range of reactions from federal workers.
None of this is okay.
As the president pushes to scale back the size of government across all agencies, including USAID, which officially terminated Christina Dry.
I would say it's a sense of despair. It's heartbreaking because we know that people are going to be less healthy, less safe, through no choice of our own.
What does this mean for your life for the short term here?
Yeah, I think in 10, 15 days, this whole thing has just been turned upside down through no fault of my own. I don't know where my rent is coming from. Do I still live with my roommates? Do I have to move away from D.C. in order to make a life viable?
It's uncertainty over paychecks, health care, and more looming over many in the workforce. Nearly 2.3 million civilians work for the federal government. 80% live outside of the Washington area, including tens of thousands of employees in red states like Texas and Florida.
I think confusion is the easiest way to put it. It has been chaos.
After 10 years in the Navy, Andrea Galbraith shifted to a career in the federal government, at least for now.
Nobody wants to work in this type of condition where we're going to be in a psychological warfare for how long?
Other federal workers, not revealing their names for fear of retribution, described to NBC News fear and panic, an Orwellian nightmare. Another, Shelley, has her own concerns about Elon Musk.
I did not vote for him, no matter who I voted for. I have a huge amount of issue with the access that he's getting.
Vice President Vance arguing many Americans did vote for Donald Trump, who promised repeatedly to have Elon Musk root out wasteful spending in our government. And the White House has said a bloated federal bureaucracy has cost American taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars each year. Dry suggests she understands streamlining, but
there has to be a mechanism by which that occurs that offers basic decency and basic respect to that worker.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Nobody voted for Kamala Harris in the Democrat Party. You can expand that. You can zoom that out. Nobody voted for all of the various shadowy government entities that ran Joe Biden and ran our country for the last 4 years. So not going to work out. Actually, nobody voted for the FBI to raid Donald Trump. Nobody voted for the CIA to spy on all of us. Nobody voted for USAID to launder all of our money to our competitors. So shut It's like, not going to work here anymore. Your tears, they have no power. People who do have power, though, ladies and gentlemen, people who are connected and locked in, please lock in with Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is the Christian conservative wireless provider that we use on this program to stay connected. We're going to be heading to Washington, D.C. in a week. It's going to be very exciting. Patriot Mobile is going to go with us to a number of very interesting little adventures that we're going to have in Washington, D.C. It's the cell phone that we use because they're available on all 3 major networks. We always have a great coverage because of the great coverage guarantee. It connects us, locks us in, and we're supporting the First, Second Amendment, along with sanctity of life, veterans, and first responders. Switching is easy. Do it today. Go to patriotmobile.com/Benny or call 972-PATRIOT. Get a free month of service. Promo code Benny. Switch to Patriot Mobile today and defend freedom with every single call or text that you make. patriotmobile.com/Benny. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, and it's a great honor, is for the first time, a member of Congress who's also the chairman of the DOGE caucus in the House, representative from the great state of Florida. Honored to have Aaron Bean on the show live now. Congressman, you are wreaking havoc throughout the city, and we're so proud of you, and so well done. You've inspired an insurrection for your Democrat colleagues, and I think we should maybe just start there. Doesn't seem like a nice thing to do to harass or dox a federal employee.
Benny, first of all, it is great to be on your show. I got to spend a few minutes watching the clips there. I think we need to play circus music. I think that's the only thing missing from the wild members of Congress trying to get into the building. And yes, I'm in. I will contribute to buying that federal employee a steak. How about that? That's what he deserves. Thank you, my friend, for shining the spotlight on it. Let's acknowledge one thing. I think we all voted for this, and I saw you applauding. That's what Main Street America is. That's what the taxpayer is doing. They're cheering. They're saying, "Go get them." This is exactly what we voted for. But listen, even we knew this is what Trump was going to do, but we're still in amazement of how fast Trump and Elon are acting. It's amazing. It's Trump 2.0. And so buckle up. He's just getting started.
Congressman, maybe you can, before we move into how you are assisting Elon Musk as the chairman of the DOGE caucus, maybe you can detail for me, are members of Congress allowed to storm into federal buildings and harass federal employees? Like, is that something that's permissible? I seem to recall thousands of MAGA supporters and Donald Trump supporters that were incarcerated for doing things similar to this.
Yeah, it is a stunt. They're getting what they want, trying to act like they're so concerned on the camera right now. American people aren't buying it. In fact, the taxpayers at work, we're still trying to afford Biden. We're still trying to afford Biden's eggs right now. So go get them, Elon. And the Department of Education. Benny, have you seen where the federal government is responsible for education in the Constitution? You have not, because it is not there. It is a state function. So this also could be a rich target environment of savings and bloat and bureaucracy.
Yes,
so
that's right.
We're excited.
Would you be in favor of the Department of Education being completely disbanded? There's talk about that. HUD.
Get it out.
Yeah.
Get it out. It's not going to be easy to disband it. We think we can take many of the functions that it does and put it with other agencies. Mm-hmm. But certainly there is waste, fraud, and over-bloated bureaucracy at the Department of Education, again, because the federal government doesn't have a role as specifically outlined for the states in our Constitution.
So this would be an act of Congress, right? I mean, what the creation of these departments were acts of Congress, or were they executive orders? Like, at what point would Democrats have any way to, like, stop the disbanding of the Department of Education? Or is it totally up to President Trump?
The actual disbandment would be a vote of Congress, but through executive orders. And that's really the purpose of the DOGE caucus. Yes. We love executive orders because of the shock and awe of how fast they are. It's what the Democrats did under Obama, under Biden. But DOGE caucus is really trying to add permanency to these executive orders. We know, Benny, that with every executive order, that is done, it can be undone with the next girl or gentleman that's in the White House. And so that's what DOGE Caucus is trying to bring people together to add legislation to add permanency to these restructuring of the federal government.
That's right. You're gonna have to do that because everything that Elon's doing could be totally undone. What's your strategy to codify this into law?
Well, strategy is because of our majority is so razor thin. Right now, we have a 1-vote majority in the Congress, in the House of Representatives. So, as crazy as this sounds, we are reaching out to Democrats to join our caucus. We've got 2 right now, but we think we can add more. There are still some reasonable Democrats that want to fight the bureaucracy and understand that you can't defend USAID. And so that's what we're reaching out. So we're building, we are really we've got a website that I should know it off the top of my head, but we've received 30,000 emails from people all across America say, I did business with the federal government, you overpaid, cut this program, or I worked for the federal government and it's a waste of time this whole department is, so cut us and cut them. So we've got work to do. It's going to take it's a grueling process because again, our majority is a 1-vote majority right now. So stay tuned. We need people to pay attention, and that's exactly what you're doing and your viewers are doing, paying attention. But I tell you what, I couldn't be more proud of Elon. I couldn't be more proud of the guy that's guarding the door. I couldn't be more proud of our president, because he's doing exactly what he said he would do, exactly what we voted for. It's just happening so fast. It's an exciting time to be a part of this process.
You're not here to solicit advice, and it's not my place to give you advice, but please don't invite Maxine Waters into the DOGE caucus.
Yeah, it is. Stephen Covey says the 7 habits of highly effective people are, one of them is to seek first to understand rather than be understood. I just don't understand how Democrats can defend waste, fraud, and abuse.
Yes.
It's got to go. Got to go, Benny.
Yes, that's right. And I know that you're up against a hard out, Congressman. I appreciate your patience with us this morning. I do want to ask in conclusion, since you're working so closely with Elon Musk, where do you want to see him go next? A lot of people are saying the Pentagon, right? A lot of people are saying, I don't know, the Department of Transportation has just said that he's locked in. That's caused Hillary Clinton to have a meltdown. What's the next target for DOGE and allied with him in Congress? What can you do to support that?
Benny, it's a great question. And the answer, there is no wrong answer wherever it is. His algorithms, he ran some AI software and found that the most conflict of executive orders, where there was most fraud, was the USAID. So I know right now they're looking at really every aspect of government. The Pentagon is another great place. They failed the last 7 audits. There's $3 trillion they can't account for. We all want money to go to our military and be strong, but we don't want it to go to $800 hammers or out the back door. We want it to go to missiles and whatnot. So Department of Education, Pentagon, you name it. If there's fraud, waste, and abuse, we want to find it. And that's where Elon is leading the way.
Hey, man, you're from the Space Coast. I looked up your district. I'm like, yeah, hey, man, you're from an amazing Space Coast district where Elon, it's like on the same side of Florida where Elon catches the rockets with the chopsticks.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Benny, hopefully there'll be another time you and I can get together, but thank you for keeping it fun, keeping it lively, and keep shining that spotlight on wacky stuff the government is doing.
Follow the Congressman there, Congressman Aaron Bean. Godspeed, sir, head of the DOGE caucus. Real patriot.
Rock on. Go get him, Benny.
See ya. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, it's our absolute privilege to make sure that we are supporting people that are fighting for this nation, for the better future for our country. It's pretty much our entire motivation here is to make sure that we leave a country to our children that we'd be proud of. Only a cursed generation destroys a country, insults the earth, and leaves the ravages to their children and grandchildren. It's an awful thing to do. Moral generation is able to preserve this place and is able to honestly use the skills, the understanding, the vibrancy, and the optimism of youth in order to preserve this place. I mean, the average age of the signers of the Declaration of Independence was 30 years old. So it's like a young country. It's like built for young and optimistic people. And that's who Elon Musk is using at DOGE in order to root out. I guess you could destroy the deep state just by changing a couple passwords. It's like amazing. You just change the password on the computer, and all the 60 and 70-year-old bureaucrats, no idea how now to function, how to keep the deep state going. It is an amazing hack. It's really wild. But now, of course, the 20-year-olds that work for Elon Musk are under attack. This is the hysterical segment that ran on CNN. CNN, it's just like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. You don't understand what timeline you live in. You don't get. You're the dinosaurs. You don't understand. Everything's changed. CNN tried to dox one of the young, inspiring members of DOGE who are helping make the government more efficient by finding his pseudonym online, and that pseudonym is Big Balls. So Big Balls, who is a 19-year-old working with Elon Musk, was doxxed yesterday by CNN, but it backfired. And I'll detail for you in hilarious retort exactly how in just a moment. Here's the segment, ladies and gentlemen. CNN fears the big balls.
It focuses on a 19-year-old software engineer working at DOGE, someone whose past associations that you have looked into, such that they are at 19, would call into question passing a background check. Of course, that hasn't happened in these cases, but would normally happen in a case with access like this.
One would hope, yes. So this is a 19-year-old high school graduate who has used the unfortunate nickname Big Balls online. So that would be one way that we could refer to him. He is now working at Musk's behest inside DOGE. And we looked into his background. And so we found several notable things, Aaron, one of which is that this individual has founded multiple companies, including one with another unfortunate name, Tesla.Sexy LLC, which he established in 2021. He would have been around 16 years old. Now, this LLC controls dozens of web domains, a handful of which are registered to Russia. Now, that in and of itself is not necessarily illegal, but every expert we spoke to said that that is exactly the kind of thing, those kinds of foreign connections that would raise red flags on a background check. Now, he also worked at a network monitoring firm that is known for hiring reformed black hat hackers, essentially criminals. And lastly, we uncovered Telegram messages that we've linked to this individual in which that Telegram user is soliciting a cyber attack for hire. So actually looking for someone to perform a cyber attack at their behest.
And Telegram, of course, is heavily used.
Was it DJ Khaled? You played yourself, right? You done played yourself. Do you understand that what you did was you gave meme content by covering this to the entire world? The right and the left are all making fun of you, CNN. This is the screenshot that went viral. Elon Musk saying, I cannot believe this was actually on TV. You zoom in on the Chiron here. Doge teen known as Big Balls, now government expert. Look at the faces. We're so angry. We're so angry. Like the single most miserable grouping, the single most miserable, saddest, contortionists. Who's sitting here? Oh, and our executive producer ALX getting responded to by Elon Musk over this very important issue. This is again the most important issues, are obviously what CNN only covers. Oh no! So exclusive to our executive producer ALX, who you must follow. Nearly 1 million Americans follow him. DOGE staffers identified as Harry Balls, Big Balls, Dick Hertz, Ligma Johnson, and Diggus Buckus. Spread these names. They are the people running your government. Elon Musk posting, quote tweeting this and saying, Elon Musk quote tweeting this, please. Back. Thank you. Oh no, I cannot believe that they doxed DOGE. What they did was they doxed you. What they did is that this individual knew that CNN was going to go hunt through his past, and he probably changed his pseudonyms in order to get this on CNN and to make memes like this one. Here you go. No one elected Big Ball. The current state of the left, the actual literal state of the left, ladies and gentlemen. Just one final take on this. Don't believe these people with their faux outrage. This is what they did to your country over the last 4 years. There's been nothing but pagan degeneracy in every hall of Congress and the White House. Hunter Biden lived at the White House for the vast majority of the last 4 years. They found little baggies of cocaine. People were literally filming pornography throughout the halls of government. Some were going literally doing nude activism inside of the White House. You've seen it all. You've witnessed it all. These people are sick pagans. We pray for their souls. Don't listen to a single word that they preach at you from some type of moral high ground. They have no moral high ground. You should never listen to them again. We do not negotiate with terrorists, and they have absolutely no moral authority to ever lecture you ever again for the rest of your life. So, Godspeed, big balls. From our program here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to also explaining, ladies and gentlemen, what is actually happening inside of the Democrat Party. This was not the segment that I assumed that this is not the segment that I was going to bring someone who's very brave onto the program, but you just never know the news cycle these days. Okay, you just never know what's going to come up. A very, very sophisticated, serious, and thoughtful individual who has been making a lot of waves and been making a lot of enemies inside of the DNC, is Lindy Li. Lindy Li is the former DNC fundraiser for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. She's someone who has spoken out about what she witnessed inside of the 2024 campaign. She's made quite a bit of news in doing so, and again, quite a few enemies. When she does this, she's engaging in an act of absolute bravery against a system that requires silence and adherence to whatever diktats that they have set before the individuals who are servile to them. And that system's been happening, and that machine's been running for 40 years. Lindy Li is one of the first people to have ever stood up against that system from the inside, and it's our great honor to welcome her to the program live now. Lindy, welcome to the show. We are honored to have you. You've had an absolutely wild last 24 hours. There are a lot of people who don't, on the left, who don't want you to be on this program and don't want you to be speaking truth. Whether it's here or Fox News or Sean Ryan's show. And so we just say thank you. Thank you for engaging in just honesty and truth.
Benny, I want to thank you. Just hearing what you said, I want to cry. I haven't slept. I just want to cry, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I've actually admired you from afar for a number of years now. I'd love to see you crushing it every single day. And thank you so much for having faith in me and giving me this chance to speak with your fan base.
Well, I mean, everyone was very interested in hearing your story, and every single time it seems like you sort of shatter a false narrative that is out there about the 2024 election and what actually happened. And since you were in the building, and since you were there, you have obviously great authority to speak on these things. I'm very sorry to hear that you've been losing sleep. Maybe we can start with that. Can you explain the circumstances that are causing you to lose sleep right now, Lindy?
Benny, I'm not actually sure if the producer sent along the text that I shared with her. But last night I was actually going to go for a run to clear my mind, but then I got a text. It's actually so complex. It's the same lawyer that I once fought against, who tried to kick me off the ballot exactly 10 years ago when I was running for Congress. This is the same lawyer who wanted to essentially destroy my dream of running for Congress. He succeeded 10 years ago. And then 10 years later, He sends me a text saying that he's going to send a cease and desist if I don't shut up, basically. And I don't want to identify him and possibly get myself in hotter water than I already am. But it's just caused me significant anxiety. It's like, what did someone say? Courage isn't not having fear, it's having the fear and doing it anyway. So I'm just trying to go, the only way out of this is through, right? So I'm just trying to steamroll my way through the angst. Not angst, just the fear.
So what you've just told us here is bombshell. So there
I'm sorry if it's nonsensical.
Power. There are individuals within the apparatus attempting to protect the Democrat Party that are now legally threatening you for speaking truth?
I called him immediately because we know each other, and I asked him like what part of what I said was untrue. So we broke it down into pieces, and every single thing I said was true. He just didn't want it mashed together and presented to an audience in a digestible fashion, you know?
So someone's attempting to legally harass you.
He did. It was an attempt. He did.
So now the party is legally harassing you, or individuals that are protecting of the party, legally harassing you for just saying true things about the 2024 election.
Yeah. And after we spoke, it became clear that he wasn't going to send the letter because what I said was true. He just didn't want it said. And, yeah, Benny, I think I'm going to take a few days just to escape this world because it's really just so much.
Wow.
And I was just texting someone that I love. I was like, I need you to understand what this is costing me. I don't really care if the world knows. I just need you to know that this is not easy. It's not, people call me a grifter. I want to be clear one more time. No one paid me to raise money for Biden or Harris. Donors donate. With all due respect, do people understand English? Right? I give when donors, it's like Elon Musk, he gave $250 million. He wasn't taking from Trump. He didn't take money from Trump. Donors donate. I wasn't paid to do any of that. I wasn't paid to expose their corruption. Benny, you're not paying me now. So this is all because it's the right thing to do. I'm not compensated in any way. In fact, I lost everything on the Democratic side.
So, Lindy, while this comes as a massive shock, for the last 4 years, we've been covering lawfare against President Trump and people suing Trump and coming after him legally and attempting to destroy. So this does seem like a used tactic that often happens inside of these circles, and we're incredibly sorry that this is happening to you. It's horrifying. It's disgusting. We stand against it, and obviously we have your back. And what an awful thing to do to somebody who maybe we can pivot to what your roles in the 2024 election. You were a fundraiser for Kamala Harris. You worked with the DNC and Joe Biden. That was your official position?
Yeah, I served in a number of positions at the DNC actually over the years. This has been a decade-long experience. And I just want to, you got to take responsibility. I should have known sooner. I just didn't see it. I just did not see it. I grew up in a democratic world and very liberal. Can you see that I live in Philadelphia? It's just actually completely blue. There are no Republicans here. The voter registration, I think, is 1 to 8 or 1 to 7. So it wasn't an option for me. And I just didn't see it. I should have. I'm sorry. Now that I have, everything makes sense. It's just, I was speaking to someone and, the Chinese Communist Party killed my great-grandfather. And I realize now that the Democratic Party has adopted many of the tactics that communists use, which is violent excommunication, the discrediting, the destroying. They will do everything. They will defame you to the ends of the earth. Why did it take me 10 plus years to realize this? I think a lot of it is actually branding. And I was like, it's blue. They purport to care about people. I didn't realize that a lot of it just mimics the Communist Party that my family fled from.
Wow. And now that's happening in short order to you. They're now using those tactics against you for simply speaking the truth. I want to get into that, but I just still can't really fathom. All you're doing is saying true things about what happened in 2024, and they're threatening you and trying to silence you and excommunicate you.
It's been going on for months. Every day since November, I've woken up and braced myself for the next avalanche of abuse. My notifications are off, so I only it's just really hard. I try not to read any comments. It's hard, and I've lost all my friends. They turned out to be fake, but I lost all my friends on that side. People that I've done so much for over the years. People text and call me and shame me, like people that I thought were friends. Like, how could you? It's the right thing to do.
I don't understand, because especially after a loss, and if you're somebody who is on the right side, if you're somebody who's a Republican, you experience massive, catastrophic landslide election losses, right, over the last 20 years. Everyone saw it, right? And it was a requirement when that happens is the ability to criticize your own party. We do this constantly on the show. We criticize Republicans. We criticize Republican leaders. We talk about what's smart and what's not. And nobody comes after us for doing that, right? I think that's like it's implied that you must be able to critique and see the problems. And from a distance, that seems like all you were doing with the Democrat Party was saying, here's how we could have done it better, right?
No, because it goes against their narrative that the American people are racist and sexist. It's the only thing they can say. They attack everyone for being racist and sexist. Have you noticed it's all about their woke fest, their DEI narrative? Everyone hail Goddess Kamala. She's untouchable. You can't criticize her. You can't point out that $2.5 billion is essentially set on fire. I raised millions of that. It's just I don't know, Benny, I never imagined that my life would take this turn. I never envisioned it would be this way. I never even thought I would be leaving the party so soon, but the DNC chair actually called me out. He attacked me personally. This could have gone so many different ways. He could have called me. These people have my number. They could have just called me. They could have talked to me personally. No, he sicked his far left influencers on me. They defamed me. And I just want to say one thing, right? The party of DEI, like Kumbaya, racial justice warriors, all of a sudden, because I dare to criticize their queen, Kamala, I'm now a Chinese spy. I'm a spy for the regime that murdered my family in cold blood. Am I allowed to curse on here?
Please. Yeah.
Give me a fucking break. Like, seriously? It makes me sick to my stomach. I would fall on the sword for America. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to shout from the mountaintops that I love America? I would do anything for this country. How dare you say that? How dare you? It's just, I'm shaking. I'm just so upset by that. And so they were the racists all along. And what's worse? Sure, let's be honest, there are bigots on both sides of the aisle, but at least with Republicans, they're very forthright with you. They are who they are, right? With Democrats, they pretend to love everyone. They pretend to embrace diversity, but that's just a charade. It's a complete sham. The racism is simmering and boiling underneath, and all they need is some excuse. And I gave them that excuse. And now that's why they're calling for me, an American through and through. My blood bleeds red, white, and blue. They're calling for me to be deported, what, to Philadelphia? Where?
We'll take you in Florida.
Oh, I actually would love to go to Florida.
We'd love it. I mean, listen, you're wearing the right color. You love
Benny,
you
everything I do is intentional. This is not by accident.
There you go. Yes, it's great. We'd love to have you down here. Might I recommend Tampa? It's a wonderful city.
I actually love Tampa. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I do.
So that's my personal pitch. You're welcome to come down here, but on a more, I guess, if I'm talking about where I live personally, I live personally on a street with a number of Cubans, right? A couple of Black Americans, and they're my friends. And they support Trump. The Cuban population down here supports Trump like crazy. But there is this real unbelievable undertone of sick racism that is always emanates from the left in their DMs whenever they post something nice about Trump, from Hispanic populations, also from from Black Americans. That I'm telling you, like the abuse to these individuals who are Black and support Trump, or who are Hispanic and support Trump. You should go check their DMs. You go open up their phone. It is hideous and it is unspeakable, and it comes from the left. And it really, you're right. It does bubble right up under the surface as soon as you go against the party.
It's more treacherous because they pretend to be good people. It's just unbelievable. And oh man, and you saw this past weekend, they had their woke fest. They didn't learn a single thing. They didn't learn a damn thing. They reelected 50% of their leadership, and their DNC vice chair wants to abolish ICE. Yeah, okay, that's a great idea.
David Hogg.
Exactly. He's skinnier than I am, which says a lot. But and then he wants to defund the police. Come on. And I'm speaking as a naturalized immigrant, by the way. My family and I came here the right way. That is the way it should be. No one should be jumping the line or storming the southern border. Why is it suddenly racist? So it's racist to say that, but it's not racist to call me a Chinese spy and a cunt and a whore and everything. I'm sorry they call me everything under the sun. If you know anything about me, you would know I'm the most, in terms of like morals, I'm the most boring person ever. I don't even drink alcohol. I'm like a Christian conservative. That's how I grew up. Like, for them to call me things, it's just so despicable and so off base.
I'd like to say it's unbelievable. Everything from the lawfare threats to the name calling, but I've seen it for the better part of the last decade, and I've seen this in behavior, and we've been covering it. So it actually isn't unbelievable. It's actually very in line with a party that has become quite pagan. And become quite filled with hate and anger.
And they have so much hatred and anger towards religion itself. You know, they call God Sky Daddy. All right, I don't know if you've seen that. It's just so everything. And I think the reason why they care so much about their party and they want to destroy anyone who dares to criticize them is that the Democratic Party for them is their temple. It's their religion. They have no other religion. This is it. The DNC is their sanctuary. So anyone who dares to chip away at that temple must be annihilated. And unfortunately, they're trying to do that to me, but it's just, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It was something that we often talk about on this channel, is that these people need to find God, and they need to stop assuming that Barack Obama is God or Kamala Harris, right, is queen. And you're going to be very, very disappointed if you try and impart upon a corrupt political party the nature of God, or use that as your church. You're gonna have a very miserable life.
Benny, I couldn't agree more. And I've been wearing this necklace for 15 years. It's kind of my way of being myself in a party that's not anything like me. I've been through, regardless it's raining, I wear it everywhere I go, and it's just my way of holding on to my faith. And this whole ordeal has strengthened my faith.
It's a cross.
It's a cross. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah.
Yep. Can see.
In every photo, you can see it going back like more than a decade. It's just, this is me.
So, listening to you talk now, I just couldn't imagine what the 2024 election was like for you. Can we go through a couple of top line items that I just
whatever you need?
Yeah,
I'm not protecting anybody anymore.
Multiple celebrities have come forward saying that they were never paid anything by the DNC for their endorsements. Everyone from Beyonce to Oprah to Cardi B. We have a supercut, actually, of every one of them claiming, I didn't, get paid. Is that true? Given
Absolutely
the fact that
not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Benny, come on. Like, this is just, All of them have production companies, so the money goes to their companies. But who owns the companies? They do. And Oprah is the most obvious example. But yeah, every one of them was reimbursed. You know what they could have done? These people are millionaires or billionaires. They could have paid for those quote unquote production costs out of their own pocket. But no, they took money from the American people, hardworking Americans. And the Democratic Party was basically grifting off everyday Americans through $10 to $15 donations, sometimes recurring through Act Blue, which has obviously been under a cloud of misconduct as well. It's just, if Oprah really cared so much about Kamala Harris, why couldn't she just pay for the production costs and the salaries herself instead of taking $2 million from the campaign?
So this video right here of Lizzo on a private jet, getting on a very expensive private jet here. Was this paid for by the DNC? Was this paid for with donor dollars?
Was this March 28th? Do you know the date on here? Is it around March 28th? Oh, okay. Interesting.
October. This is when Lizzo went and did an event with Kamala Harris.
Because she also did an event for Joe Biden on March 28th. I was there. And so I'm wondering, I think, she might have been paid twice for both times. But a lot of the money, you bring up a really good point, right? They talk about how they're the party working people. So much of that money went to 5-star hotels, to private jets, to fancy restaurants, to all this stuff. So how is it supposed to resonate with American people?
She's already incredibly rich. Oprah's a billionaire. Oprah's worth $4 billion. There's no reason why Oprah needs, and we can put up the actual receipts here. You can see the payments. It's millions of dollars that was paid to Oprah.
There's actually $1 million missing here.
Really?
Yeah, maybe it's supposed to be $2 million. I'm not. Yeah, it's more than this.
I know that these can be incomplete.
Yeah, or maybe it takes a while for the FEC to reflect all the payments, but
yeah, the reporting was that it was around $2.5 million that went to Oprah, who, again, is already a billionaire. She's a billionaire 4 times over. And it really does beg the question, like, is this all a grift? Right?
Oh, it absolutely is. I want everyone to know that the campaign raised about $1 billion. The super PAC raised about $1 billion, $2.5 billion in total. Half of the $1 billion that went to the campaign just went to 4 well-connected Democratic firms, including, as we all know, Bully Pulpit International. And who runs these firms? It's Obama World and the consultants. It's the same group of people. They fail upwards. They move from one campaign to the next, and they make so much money. A lot of these people, I don't want to name them. I've had enough abuse for the day, but there are certain really well-known Obama figures who are on their 3rd mansion in Malibu, California. It doesn't take a lot of research to figure out who I'm talking about. These people have gotten so rich. And it doesn't matter. I want people to understand it doesn't matter if Kamala wins or not. They still make a killing. In fact, they might even make more. I remember here in Philadelphia, 2 weeks before, I haven't said this on here yet, but 2 weeks before the election, we had a dinner at the Ritz-Carlton. Governor Shapiro was the keynote speaker. This has nothing to do with him. He was fine. But Kamala Harris campaign staffers were telling us that we would win 3 to 4 battleground states, that we were poised to win. We learned after the election that all of that was just a lie, because apparently their internal polling never had her up. So they were telling donors a different story. They were milking us for every single penny. Not for Kamala, not for the American people, but for themselves.
So they were lying to donors to ultimately line their pockets, because if you think it's going to be a very close race and it's just, we're just inches away, then you're going to donate more, and that gives more money to the consultants. Every dollar donated, I mean, I've lived in D.C., I know how this works. Every dollar donated, very little of it actually goes to the actual ad or to the yard sign or the door knocker. A lot of it is pocketed along the way by corrupt political institutions.
Exactly. And I want everyone to know, in case they don't know, that the best way to get rich, the fastest way, is to befriend one of these candidates and work for a TV ad firm. They make so much money. Candidates spend candidates spend hundreds of millions of dollars on these TV ads, and who gets a substantial portion? Not you or me, the TV ad consultants who happen to be friends with the candidate. They make so much money. And often their ads are so shitty, and where they should be putting up the ads, they don't. Kamala Harris should have responded to the trans ad, the one that alleges that she funds gender reassignment surgery for prisoners. Who wants a president who funds that? I certainly don't. But they didn't respond to that. It was political malpractice. But it also points to the trans insanity. That's a whole different topic. But yeah, it's just.
So you're saying that are you saying, was it all fake? I mean, I guess you have to take a step back and say, was like Joe Biden dropping out, was this just about fleecing Democrat donors for more money? Because with Kamala, you could probably raise more money and pump some excitement in. Like, was it all fake? They knew they knew you were going to lose. They knew it was going to be a lost cause. So it was just about like hoovering up cash and stealing more money from Democrat donors.
Denny, let me just say, on July 13th, that was the day, right? In Butler.
Yeah.
On July 13th, I was getting texts from people around the country. The election's over. Trump essentially wins. Like, how do you beat someone like that? The way that he handled the assassination attempt was just majestic. It was like picture perfect. So after that point, I think it's just like the guy became almost like mythical. You can't beat him. But in terms of Biden, the money just dried up. I remember just sitting on my sofa and talking to staffers. They had nothing to do because the donors completely closed their wallets. Wow. But with Harris, the spigot turned back on. It was much easier. Just to give you a reference point, it took me a year to raise $1 million for Biden. A year. That's a really long time. It took me days to raise several millions for her. Wow. So it was, the delta between the two was substantial.
So it was a total grift. And did you ever get a read that, like, this was all fake, right? That we're paying celebrities. Who's the number one paid celebrity? Do you know? Do you have access to that?
The thing is, we didn't know any of this before Election Day. We weren't privy to the reports. They kept it from us. You think that we would be giving money if we knew our money was wasted like this? My parents gave. My family owned real estate. We donated to church. My family's Christian, so we have a church. We wouldn't have done any of that had we known that the money would be spent this way. Wow. So people ask why I didn't bring it up earlier. How could I possibly know? I never in my wildest dreams would have imagined that they would be dispersing our hard-earned money this way. It didn't even occur to me that celebrities who, these weren't endorsements. They were essentially paid ads. It wasn't from the kindness of their hearts.
Beyonce, was it $10 million? I think.
And she didn't even sing. I'm sorry, that's such a huge letdown. And you saw that Kamala Harris was booed afterwards. The same thing happened to the DNC months before, and they didn't learn a thing. You can't trot Beyonce out or pretend that you're going to have her if she doesn't perform. We don't really care about her speech, with all due respect. I mean, do you? Do you want to hear her pontificate? Exactly.
I don't want to hear any celebrity. I certainly don't want to hear what Eminem has to say, right? To support Liz Cheney. It's like utterly fraudulent. The entire thing's just been broken. So what you're saying is all these celebrities, from Lizzo to Eminem to Cardi B to Beyonce and Oprah, that they're all frauds and that they didn't actually believe any of this. They were just being paid to dance like a puppet.
All you need to know, all you need to look at is Obama yucking it up with Trump like they were best friends at Jimmy Carter's funeral. The same dude who's reeling against him on the stage just days before, weeks before. That's all you need to know. The same guy who he called a fascist, all sorts of names, like the end of democracy, an existential threat. And next thing you know, they're like chummy.
And according to the lip readers, Obama, first thing he says is, "I knew you'd win." So it backs up perfectly what you're saying. It backs up exactly what you're saying.
Benny, I felt like I was going through the motions towards the end of the campaign and just hoping that, I can't believe I'm articulating this, but given everything that's happened to me this past year, I was hoping that conservatives would win. And I felt this is the result that I wanted. Now I feel liberated for the first time in my life to just tell the truth, that men are men, women are women, that men shouldn't play women's sports, that DEI and woke are just insane, that we should have borders, that the Roman Empire disintegrated largely because of porous borders. We have to learn from history here.
Yes. So, yeah, it does seem incredibly fraudulent. You're seeing the images that you were talking about on the screen right now. Barack Obama, who called Trump a fascist and the greatest threat to democracy, like having a great time with Hitler, right? With orange Hitler. He's like sitting here laughing. It's like so funny.
Suddenly Hitler has a lot of friends.
That's right. Yeah. And great jokes, great jokes. So Kamala Harris, speaking of jokes, Kamala Harris is now teasing running again for office. Yesterday, she did a press conference where she said she's very excited to be linking back up with her home community here in California. And many people are speculating that it's going to be, a run for California governor. What do you know about Kamala Harris? I mean, do you believe that she's the right person to continue to run for office?
Benny, that's a joke, right?
I mean, we'll put up the headline.
Oh my goodness!
No,
all right.
So walking through a Lakers game, we got footage. She walks through a Lakers game. Nobody even wants a selfie. It's like amazing. Trump walked through a professional sports game.
And you'd be mobbed, with selfie requests.
Yeah.
So for those who don't follow California politics closely, her good friend is currently the front runner for the governor's race. So if she were to run, she would have to basically stab her friend in the back. We will just see. The best thing to happen to our country, actually, is for her to run again, because she's just going to get clobbered by Vance or whoever is going to run in 2028. Honestly, for the sake of our republic, she should run.
It doesn't seem like the Democrat Party is in a great place. I mean, we laughed a lot at the DNC convention. It was pretty embarrassing. Here's what we were talking about with Kamala Harris walking through the Lakers game. Nobody even stopping for a selfie. I mean,
oh my gosh,
so insulting. It's like nobody even stops for like a selfie. Wow, yikes, ouch. It's like the party seems to be in a really, really tough spot. What's your take on the status of the DNC?
I'm thrilled. I couldn't be happier.
What's the status of this party? Because boy, it seemed like a real struggle session at the DNC convention. I mean, it's really quite cringe. They're all cringe. Like, a lot of stuff is cringe, right? On the Republican side too. But whoa, like I've never seen a party so utterly out of touch with the American. I mean, truly like tripling down on things that the country rejected. Yeah.
Benny, did you see how the DNC chair was struggling to articulate the gender rules that they had? How they needed someone who was not a gender or whatever. I don't even know what they were saying.
Yeah,
it was so absurd.
Right.
But like, do they not understand that the American people hate all that? We rejected it. We don't want any of that. Okay. It's sickening. I don't want to be a part of that. I'm so glad I got out of there. But anyway, and then this is the same dude who just weeks after Election Day said we should double down on identity politics. Are you kidding me? This woke shit is why you got into this position. But honestly, for the sake of our republic, please keep going. You keep doing what you're doing. Like, you're doing great, sweetheart. Just like keep doing what you're doing. So maybe we shouldn't point out the faults. Maybe we should just let them be.
I mean, right? It's an old Napoleon line, I guess, that goes like, don't interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. Yeah. I mean, like after what's happened, I guess there really is no argument. They've lost so much credibility. And for instance, what happened with Kamala Harris when nobody voted for her. I mean, that must have been like a real panic moment, right? Where it's like, nobody votes for Kamala Harris and she doesn't win a primary. Was that like the plan all along? Like what, like, and now they're screaming about how Elon Musk is not elected, nobody elected him. Well, no one at the DNC voted for Kamala to be the nominee, like at all. There wasn't a primary.
Right. You want to know the total number of votes that she got for that? 0. Exactly. No one voted for her. And you know who else no one voted for? The cabal of senior advisors who ran our country for the last 4 years. I was on the Sean Ryan show and I listed them out. These were the people. No one's ever heard of them. They are unknown individuals. I didn't name the names. And they were the ones spearheading the most powerful nation in human history. There was no accountability. It's just, and unfortunately, Kamala Harris is part of that conspiracy. She again and again told the American people that Biden was fine, that he's, a genius behind closed doors, that he was running circles around, top advisors. Like, really? The other day when I was speaking with him, he asked me, he said, "Tell your husband I said hi." Benny, we just met, but I don't have a husband.
That's what Joe Biden said to you?
That's what Joe Biden said to me. And I just nodded.
Really?
Yeah. So it's just like so emblematic of like where he is right now. And I have doctor friends who I used to would bring to events with me. And one of them even diagnosed him with Parkinson's.
Wow.
She's had decades of experience, and she just says that he exhibits all the signs.
I mean, that does seem like the single greatest cover-up potentially in American history, with catastrophic national security consequences and consequences for the nation. And it's a total embarrassment, and it's hard, as an American to actually watch it because it's humiliating for all of us. But it's like Kamala wasn't, when you see these unedited Kamala interviews that are now dropping, right? Like, it's like not like she was a ton better. Did you ever interact with Kamala?
Oh, all the time. Yeah. And actually, I'm trying to be completely real with you.
Sure.
A part of me, it hurts because I know she's somewhere thinking like, what the fuck, Lindy? These are people that I've been around for, much of my life. This is really hard for me to do. I've been banned and exiled from everything, by the way. Yeah, she was, I do want to say that on a personal level, she was always kind to me. But this is not about her relationship with me. This is about our country. Yeah. It's much bigger than that. It's really such a shame. And I also want to point out, those allegations against her husband, who pretends to be a wife husband, a girl dad.
Male feminist, right.
Right. And the mainstream media just covered it up. Even at that time, it's like, what is going on? Complete and utter silence. No one wanted to bring it up. And
so, that does seem very strange to do when you are defending women, right? Like, wouldn't that be, you'd assume that if you're the party that defends women and women's rights, that you'd not allow like the abuser guy to be the first gentleman. It's not very gentlemanly.
Absolutely. And I've obviously thought about this so much over the past couple months. This is a pattern of the mainstream media colluding with the Biden White House or with the left, for favorable coverage. Like, where was the laptop story? And I still have Democrats to the day attacking me for thinking that it's a legitimate concern. Even the Washington Post corroborated elements of this story.
Yeah. So, I guess, maybe I just want to talk like nexus point here and then future. What is it that finally broke you and made you say, I can't deal with this anymore, right? I can't be a part of this broken and fraudulent system. I can't be a part of the lies any longer.
I think I mentally left around July, around the debate. I was there with Biden the night of the debate. I was with him a few minutes afterwards. In Georgia. Also,
what was that like? We all saw the footage of Jill saying you answered every question.
Oh my gosh, I was there in the front row.
It's like, what? Like, is he 3? Like, is he get a gold star?
Benny, what people don't know is that there was an emergency meeting the following day. We were all at the Ritz-Carlton, like all the Biden people were at the Ritz-Carlton in Atlanta, Georgia. There was an emergency meeting, and Jennifer O'Malley Dillon was basically telling us not to believe our own lying eyes. Like, we didn't just see what we saw. Donors were crying on the way home on the shuttle. The room went cold. We all knew what was happening. And I didn't sleep that night again. And I remember just like being in utter shock with donors. We were in a state of complete disbelief because we were told and again that he would not be like, he was not like this. And Obama actually injected life support into the situation by his tweet. This could have ended much sooner, but Obama, it was probably a mistake. He said, we all had bad nights. Do you remember that tweet?
Yep, of course.
A few hours afterwards. So it was like an artificial life support. But people were just completely shocked. But there have been certain events in my own life. I've been assaulted on the streets of Philadelphia, Democratic controlled city, multiple times just for standing there, for the crime of standing there. And just, people that I love are also conservative. And obviously you want to, when you love somebody, you want to agree with them. This has been a years long rightward shift, and I've been conservative. I'm of Asian heritage. We're family oriented. We follow the law. We want strong borders. And the Democratic Party has lurched so far to the left that I've been stranded out here. So, and I also have to admit, every night for the past year, I've been reading the New York Post for some reason and realizing that I happen to agree with a lot of that stuff. And, I don't know. It's just, I feel free for the first time in my life. I'm exhausted and sleep deprived. Yes, but I'm free.
You'll find the America First movement. You'll find the America First movement is like happy and can take a joke and can laugh at itself. It's pretty warm-hearted. And if you go to a MAGA rally, as some left-wing influencers have done, you'll find that like people are kind and are genuine and are happy and are salty and are good-hearted and will clap you on the back. And if you're even if you're wearing a Biden shirt, like people laugh, and be, oh, you're an American too, like that.
Benny, can I just say, to your point, I've gotten thousands of messages in the past day. Like, I don't know how people found my email, but I read through every single message. I think I got one negative email that was from a Democrat. You're totally right. The avalanche of love and support and healing has just been unbelievable. My mom, who's been concerned for my life because she actually gets my death threats, I send them all to her and tell her, Mama, you don't have to worry about it. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Yeah.
In conclusion here, are you going to are you going to be moving out of Philadelphia? Are you gonna come to Florida? Are you gonna look at you gonna link up with JD Vance? I mean, what you've had.
I'm already thinking. I just linked up with Nicole Shanahan.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
She was just on the program. She's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
She's actually so sweet. But the RNC already recruited me months ago. I raised money for the inauguration. The thing about my donors is that they're not ideological. They're not left wing. They're mostly. I used to work for Morgan Stanley. A lot of my donors are like finance based. They're in the business world. They don't care about he, she, or whatever the pronoun shit is. They just want a strong country. They want America to prosper, honestly, because if America prospers, they do too. Yes, so I'm taking my donors with me. Like, fuck the DNC. The RNC is going to benefit from the Democrats' loss. So, yeah, I'm going to be helping Republicans already. I've been in, Casey Crosby, the RNC co-chair, is such a sweetheart. She's amazing. So I've been in touch with her. I've already offered my help. And I'm just going to raise money for the people who actually take care of our country. America's the best, and there's no shame in saying America first. There's no shame in saying that. We should be putting our people first. It's a no-brainer.
You get chills having these kind of conversations because God works in mysterious ways, and what man intends for evil, God intends for good, and the truth is the light. And those that reside in darkness are kind of doomed to fail. I guess as a closing shot here, we know what you think of Trump and what you think of this country. Who's in charge of what's the path forward is Obama in charge? Was Obama in charge the whole time? Like, is that it? Is that all that's left?
You
Is
would
that even
not
crumbled?
believe, Benny. I kid you not. I was on my way to do the Sean Ryan show.
Yeah.
And someone calls me, a Democratic donor, one of the biggest Democratic donors who hosted Biden twice herself, called me at 3:30 a.m. in the morning saying that people are so pissed at Obama and that the entire party is in meltdown mode. Because people are keenly aware that the people who made the most money are the Obama consultants. And who was helicoptered in after Biden dropped out? A whole slew of Obama people like David Plouffe, etc.
Yep.
And so I think Obama, his reputation has taken a beating as a result of 2024. Biden is, doing his thing. So, and then Kamala is flirting with a run in 2026 or even a run for president in 2028. And I can go through, and I have, Benny. I went through every single person on the Democratic side. Not a single one has the talent or the capacity to take on the Republican Party. They just don't. Think about it. At this point in the 2004-2008 cycle, Obama had already given his DNC speech in 2004. We knew he was going to run in 2008. There's nobody now on the horizon who can do this. We are done with their pronoun nonsense, with their open borders, pandemonium. We are done with their wasteful spending. We're just done. We're done with their shrill shrieking in confirmation hearings, that which backfired, by the way. So we're just done with that.
There's always AOC,
Oh my God. Oh my God. She and I actually we've had disputes. So I'm
always
not
AOC,
not a fan.
Woo. All right, AOC versus JD Vance. Okay, I got it. Locked in 2028. And a really fascinating and inspiring conversation. It's wonderful to see, obviously, the movements that are happening right now. It's a changed political landscape. We live in a totally different country than I've lived in. It's a changed in time. It's not the same country as it was for the last 30 years. It's a totally different nation, and it's a better nation. It's getting better exponentially and quickly. And so
it is the greatest nation on earth, and I am done apologizing for it. We should be damn proud to be here. I am so proud and thankful to be American. I'm done. If you hate our country so much, please leave. Like, stop shitting on America. And so Benny, one last thing I'll say.
Please.
48 hours ago, speaking with you was not on my bingo card. It's the beauty of America that we connected like this and that you invited me. It's just extraordinary. I've seen you from afar for a number of years now, and I've always admired you. A part of me, I'm so proud and just excited to be here with you today. Thank you for giving me this chance.
We're honored. We hope that you're back all the time. We'll make our own segment. Maybe next time you can play piano. I mean, we have these beautiful images of you playing piano here that you posted on your X. Here you go. Let's pop that up. Look at this beautiful piano. I don't know what you were playing here, but goodness.
Nocturne Chopin. Chopin nocturnes will heal any. Music is just the balm for the soul. Music is everything. It truly is. Actually, I'm sorry. This is actually the last thing. I've been listening to so much Hillsong. Do you listen to Hillsong?
Oh, yes. Inspiring.
And Oceans.
Yes.
In particular, especially during this period, it's been so hard for me. And every night's the last thing I do. I just listen to Hillsong or like songs like 'Tis So Sweet. It really reminds me that everything's going to be okay. And I have a King James version of the Bible that's like falling apart on my kitchen counter. But every night I do read it. And it's going to be okay, Benny. It's going to be okay.
Yes, it will be. We'll be obviously supporting you, and our entire audience has just eaten this up and loved it. The chat's just melted down. You're going to get a lot of new followers, a lot of love. Here's the X account, please. Lindy Li, 346,000 followers. Hasn't dropped an album yet with the piano, but we hope so. All right, might Might get a feature on the next Hillsong album. And in the Lindy, in the words of Jill Biden, you answered every question.
I knew all the answers. Oh my gosh!
Look at her go.
I did such a great job.
This is what we do this for all of our guests on the stream. You answered every question.
Oh my gosh! Because
this is how normal people
even
act.
Better in person. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Oh, so sorry that you had to RIP your eardrums if you were actually in the room for this.
Yeah.
Follow Lindy Li. Who knows? Based on her avatar, maybe the next White House press secretary. We are supporters of you. You have a lot of nothing but love from our show. It's been an honor speaking with you today.
Benny Johnson, you are an institution. I'm crying. I'm sorry. This is the first time I cried ever, like in public. You are amazing. I haven't slept, but I don't feel that way. You've changed my physical dynamic, which is incredible. But now I think I can finally sleep for the first time in days because you've calmed my soul down. So thank you so much. And I'm sorry that my hair is in disarray, but it's been a week.
Nothing but love, Lindy, and we very much look forward to the next chapter. Godspeed.
Thank you so much, Benny. You are the best.
What an exciting time. Special moment. What is you ever locked in and recognize that you're living through something that is actually spiritual in nature, and that it's there are forces that are way beyond our comprehension that are causing the world to heal, and that it's actually up to those forces, and we have to depend upon them. That's why we do our verse of the day. That's why we talk about our centering here on this show. There's stuff outside of your control, your race, your race, your sex, the weather. These things you actually have to depend on God for, right? There are things that are given. There are gifts that are given to you. Yet these are the things that the Democrat Party has decided they're going to change. They're going to change your race, your gender, and the weather. They can control the weather now, right? That just shows you how pagan that entire movement was from the get. And that the truth is the light. Ladies and gentlemen, we're really, it's a really fun movement. It's a really special time. Lindy Li, I really do hope that you head on over there and give her a follow. We'll definitely make sure that she's regular on the program. The truth is the light. Ask Benny anything. Our segment every single Friday from the Benny Brigade. Here we go. From Juiced Griffin. Juiced, one of our favorites. Juiced. Are you going to be on brand and wear your black iconic shirt on the new media seat? And will the Benny Show have a permanent seat? So the answer on the permanent seat is we are applying for permanent White House credentials. The answer to the black iconic shirt is maybe. I haven't given that any thought. I wear the exact same thing every single day. My entire wardrobe is probably worth $100 or less, including my shoes and belts and everything. I'm a very simple man. I went to community college, and so maybe would it be disrespectful when we get a chance to be in the new media seat to wear the black shirt? I'm not sure. We're gonna have to ask. Thank you very much for the question, Juiced, from Anders. Are those real guns that you have behind you because they look sick? Yes, they are. They're firearms from our friends at Spikes Tactical. They are real. Based on the rules of social media, I am not allowed to pluck them off the wall and handle them while live. That is literally a rule. But we do have multiple videos up on the channel of us going to gun ranges and doing live fire with our friends at Spike Tactical. They're amazing. They're amazing firearms. And one more, ladies and gentlemen. Shouldn't Joe Rogan sue Kamala Harris' party and individuals for defamation? Yes. I mean, yes. They're like lying about Joe Rogan right now and saying that Joe Rogan, totally screwed them over with the interview. Not true. Not true. And he says he has the receipts. And Donald Trump's winning defamation suits left and right. Tim Pool sued Kamala Harris' campaign for defamation, and they took down the tweet that they were going after Tim Pool with. So, yeah, that would be amazing. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask questions on our show, please join the Benny Brigade. Gives us a lot of energy. Go to bennyjohnson.com and sign up today. $5 per month is the cost of what used to be a $5 footlong. We used to be able to say that. We can't say that anymore. I don't think the $5 footlongs exist. We must bring it back, ladies and gentlemen. Bring it back. We are $5 footlong supremacists. Okay, good. And I've been reaching for the cup the entire show because we've been live for 2 hours and it's been exciting and it's been a lot of breaking news. And it's been a long week and fun. It's been record viewership. You are watching the single fastest growing news stream in the world right now. And it's our great honor. We don't take that lightly. We do want to make sure that we bring the energy and bring you facts and knowledge every single day. We do that with our Blackout Coffee. Blackout Coffee are sweet, delicious, wonderful friends who are brewed black in our kitchen every single morning. And it's what powers the program. I drink my Blackout Coffee black. I don't ever put sugar or milk in any of my coffees. And so if it's a bad roast, I don't like it because you're just actually tasting the coffee itself. So ladies and gentlemen, Blackout Coffee is what I drink. It keeps me running. It gives me the power and the energy to fight the commies. And more importantly, when I buy my Blackout Coffee, I'm fueling the American economy because it's an American company, great American family. Please go to blackoutcoffee.com. today. blackoutcoffee.com/Benny and use the code Benny for 20% off your first order. Taste the Coffee doesn't just wake you up, it fires you up. That's blackoutcoffee.com/Benny to support your First, Second Amendment, to support first responders, and to support a great American family and company. Blackout Coffee, right here. Need a refill, actually. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm checking in with my producers because I know that we do have a press conference from the White House. So ALX, what are we thinking here? There was a press conference from the White House, but the president was an hour and a half late earlier in the week. So there's a chance that they could be late. So as we have the show right now, I think we're just going to restart the stream with the press conference with the Japanese Prime Minister, Donald Trump doing a press conference with the Japanese Prime Minister, and we're gonna relaunch when we have imminent, have an imminent signal that Trump's going live. But in our constant effort to give you the front seat to the golden era, ladies and gentlemen, we do our best to be the most alive, to be alive. Something that Joe Biden certainly was not. Definitely after that interview. Goodness gracious. Our verse of the day here from Titus 1:15. Everything is pure to those whose hearts are pure, but nothing is pure to those who are corrupted and unbelieving because their minds and consciousness are corrupted. Don't have a blackened mind or a blackened soul. Don't exist inside of the heart of darkness, ladies and gentlemen. Have pure minds and pure hearts, and then you'll be able to live life the way that God designed it, actually. Again, that's like your race, your gender, the weather. These are things you cannot change. And these are the three things that the Democrat Party wants to change. Like, that says that they're in control of. No, actually, ladies and gentlemen, it's an important note for everyone to take a giant step back and realize that, boy, you're not in control. God's in control. And that these choices determine how you structure your life, how you live your life, and Well, everything is pure for those whose hearts are pure. And you can have a much better perspective on the world if you lock in with the way you were designed. Okay? We are designed to be very grateful and thankful for you. Nothing but hearts out to the chat. It's your boy Benny. Have a great weekend in this, the greatest country on earth. See ya.
Rolling in with firelight, flames igniting icy night, crimson glow in frozen land, heat wave from a warlike band. On snow and steel in hand, burn through ice with brutal brand. Hearts of winter melt away, no place left for cold to play. Smoke and cinder fill the air, ashes falling everywhere. Conquest painted black and red, blazing trails where we have tread. Marching on in endless heat, cold defeated, feel the beat. Wanted dead or alive, faces on them wanted posters. The law's looking, they won't stop until the taste is over. It's all across the country, it's more than countywide. My mama keeps calling, she says my bounty's high. She sees me on the news, it comes as no surprise. She knows just what they'll do, can't see my mama cry. They want me in the pine box with holes from 9 shots of time to die. It ain't mine, according to my watch, my spot. Stays full of critical individuals, convicts and criminals. Nonsense from liberals and conservative jerks that want to see me in the dirt. They want me dead or alive, well, whatever works, cause I'm a cowboy. Hoping that they don't get no closer. This story's far from over. They call them Texas Rangers, tell them to bring the soldiers. I'm about to cross the border, 100 miles and running. I'm in the crosshairs, I know I'm being hunted. I might just double back because I'm that cunning. And I'm a bad boy, the senoritas love it. It's all about the taste, the guts and the glory. In case you hadn't heard, this is an outlaw story.
The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest kings, and the dying legacy, media dealweeds. Soon will the Benny Show come to mind, the salt from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun, we sail for #1. salt from lids for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun. We sail for #1. The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest kings.